Seems McCracken County Judge Executive Van Newberry is concerned about how things are being operated in the McCracken County Clerk's office. Newberry says County Clerk Jeff Jerrell's statements about the fiscal court approving his budget and the comparison of salaries in the clerk's office compared to other offices in the county have been misleading. Even though Jerrell prepares a budget summary that provides no details about individual salaries or expenses, Newberry feels budget oversight is needed so taxpayers know how money is being spent. Newberry says pooling fees from the county clerk's office and with other county revenue would give the fiscal court authority to approve his budget and oversee spending.
I think if the taxpayers fully understand what the system he's on and what the system the other elected officials on, they definitely vote for the other system. You know, the money should be collected, turned into a general fund, and then several people, the fiscal court included, which of course that's what they were elected to do, that's what their name says, should oversee how county tax revenues are spent.
On Wednesday, Jerrell sent a letter to Newberry and the county commissioners responding to comments made by Newberry recently criticizing the management of the clerk's office. Newberry's concerns had to deal with things like employee compensation and salaries, vacation time, sick leave, and that Jerrell worked fewer than 20 hours a week in his office for someone that makes $100,000 a year. Jerrell says changes were made in the personnel policy in 2009 after a recommendation was made after his office went through a state audit.
We have talked to the auditor. We felt that it was necessary to go ahead and make these changes to go to the McCracken County Policies and Procedures Ordinance. They just said that we needed something completely in writing. They were going to leave it up to us as far as what we said our policies are, because there's no really strict guidelines, but we just felt it would be easier to make the change if we just followed the ordinance that was already written.
Some of the changes Jerrell has made involve reducing the number of paid holidays and personal days from 21 to 14 and deducting days taken off for maternity leave and surgical recovery from accumulated sick leave rather than paid excused absences. Jerrell also says he will not agree to Newberry's request to turn the financial operations of his office over to the fiscal court and allow it to prepare and oversee his budget. Newberry says he is disappointed in Jerrell's comments and says the budget oversight is needed so taxpayers know how money is spent. There seemed to be some confusion Tuesday night as to whether or not write-in votes in the race for McCracken County Clerk would be counted, since it appeared that incumbent Jeff Jerrell had received the majority of the votes. Republican representative to the county election board, Lynette Brown, says there was never any question that write-ins would be counted.
It is necessary to count them because we're required to by law and because the candidates want to know how many votes they received. Last night we knew that Jeff Jerrell had over 11,000 votes and that the total write-ins was less than 8,000. So we didn't have to count them last night.
Brown points out that voters must be very careful when writing in a name because there are guidelines that must be followed as to whether or not a name will be allowed to be counted. As an example, Dr. Barbara Bowers, a Paducah ophthalmologist, received write-in votes that may have been meant for Becky Bowers. The election board must determine voter intention when there is a question about the name written on the ballot, and votes such as B. Bowers were given to Becky Bowers, but votes with completely different names, such as Barbara Bowers or Dr. Bowers, cannot be given to Becky Bowers. Both Becky Bowers and Dr. Barbara Bowers say they're not surprised that the similarity in name might cause some confusion, with Dr. Bowers adding that she hopes it did not affect the outcome of the election. That doesn't appear to be the case.